Pontchartrain was named by Clarence Webb. Clarence Webb and James Ford excavated Poverty Point back in the 50s and named this point. It is a valid type. It's named after the lake in Louisiana. Pontchartrain is a thick, narrow, medium to large stem with a median ridge or diamond-shaped cross-section. The median ridge may be present on one or both faces, with the other face being flat. The blade is narrow, commonly being 3 times the length as the width, and is primarily excurvant. Many examples may have a pentagonal appearance, being excurvant towards the tip and having parallel sides. The shoulders are horizontal to having an upward slope. The stem is primarily straight. It may vary to slightly contracted. The base may vary from straight to slightly convex. A well-executed ripple flake generally extends from the edge to the face. However, some examples have pressure flaking used to retouch the edges, forming a random flaking pattern. Size measurements and length are usually 48 to 110 millimeters, 20 to 35 millimeters in width. The stem is usually 13 to 18 millimeters. Tan shirts are the most common material, followed by the locally available materials. There is a Pontchartrain Type 2 point, and it has a smaller distribution than the Type 1. Pontchartrain Type 1 generally has a longer, narrower blade than the Type 2 point. In addition, the shoulders of Type 1 are horizontal to having an upward slope. The base of the Type 1 stem is commonly wider and squarer, and commonly has a cortex rind on the basal end. Type 1 may have a noticeable twist to the blade, which is not commonly seen with the Type 2 point. This is a Type 2 Novaculite point. Flint Creek may be an extension of the Pontchartrain type, with the Flint Creek point having an expanding stem, while the Pontchartrain points tend to have a straight stem or slightly contracting stem. This is another Pontchartrain Type 2 from my site. This is a preform. It's coming up in a video in a few minutes showing when I found it. It is a Pontchartrain preform. And then the next pictures are going to show the twist that was mentioned before. When you look at them head on, the so-called kill shot, you can see the twists in the blades most of the time. This is a Pontchartrain Flint Creek type that I found recently. You can see the twist in it, also the serrated edges. The North American region map is going to end up showing us the Louisiana in red is where we are. Although they do spread out through the Tennessee River Valley, all the way to the Tennessee River Valley down through Arkansas and most of Louisiana. It's known for being a Louisiana point for sure. Time frame, late Archaic woodland, 3,500 to 2,000 before present. Neoglacial culture. I'm going to call it a poverty point. Transitional period, 1700 BC-ish. My site dates to that according to what I'm finding and mostly, and a lot of the pottery points to that also. I have another production coming up about the pottery. I have a lot of Marksville type pottery that goes through all the phases of temper. I have more than most people would know, but I'll show it to you in another video. The video's coming up. I hope you enjoy. When I found 2 of these Pontchartrain. We just came down here and started digging, and the first song on the radio hasn't even finished yet. Out falls a Pontchartrain with serrated edges and sharp as the day it was made. I can't believe how fine that is. Look at that, is a nice point right there. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Look at the edge. Look at the serrations on it. Lethal and sharp. Look like it was made yesterday. That piece right there is probably 1500, I don't know, 1000 BC. It's probably 3000 years old. Looks like it was made yesterday. Look at that. That is awesome. I hit it up in the edge of this hole, scraping, and I heard it. And when I pulled on it, I knew it wasn't just a rock. That's it. Good deal. All right, we're going back into another spot before it gets too hot. I'm gonna go right here. It's getting dusty. Afraid my camera's gonna get dirt in them working on this situation. Hear me grunting because this is pretty good work. My friends, they go in creeks. Ooh, that sounded very abrupt and rough. Look, there you go. You see that? Are you seeing that? I hit that pretty hard. Wasn't expecting. That's why you need to go take it easy. Boy, that's a fine feminine process. I may have broke that, I may not. We'll find out in the basket. I sift with a 1/4 inch cloth. That popped up out of there. It's shallow too. So the things you got to do, that's what we were hunting. It's not finished on the base yet, but it was square. I don't think I broke that, but I've hit it pretty hard. It's twisted. It's twisty. Lay it down, see what else is happening up in here shallow. I scraped the ground up in here some with my tractor, cleaning up after the flood. I may have dug down the pay dirt by getting that extra layer of sand out of the way. It's hard to finesse a tractor bucket when you're scraping dirt. Let's see. But after 2016, I had to come in here and find. The whole field's been covered with an extra layer of sand. You can see it out there. All that's new, fresh, fluff sand, about 10 inches to 2 feet deep. Up in here, there's something else in there. I just felt it thud. Hope maybe something else. Let's see what's happening. The good thing about looking in here is you can find stuff in 10 minutes most of the time. I could look all day in the pasture. Ooh, that didn't sound good. I hate that. And not find anything, and then I can come down here in 10 minutes and I can find something that's here. You guys got to work to get it. Let me scrape in there with my. It's right there. I feel that's just a little old pebble. It could sound big. I don't know if that was it though. There's something bigger than that right here.
This is a lot of, there's one piece of rock. Different ways. I haven't broke much in here, but that don't mean you can't. And it's a real heartbreaker if you break a 3 or 4 inch drill in half just because you're ambitious, rambunctious, and going at it. A lot of people won't go at it with a shovel. They'll sit here and dig this 1 square foot with a concrete trowel, and it'll take 8 hours. And I've learned to go down through it methodically, easy. The drier dirt makes you want to push harder, and then when you hit something, it could hit it solid, it could hit it on the edge, it could flake off a tip or a base. But you just have to, most of the broke ones I have found were ancient breaks, and I found the other end of them 50 feet away from where I found both halves in here, 3 years apart, 50 feet away. It's everywhere because of the, that was a pretty, there's stuff in here. This is getting to be a pretty healthy hole here. Alright, I'm going to get into this basket and see. I got an idea that if that piece broke, it's in here. See something already right there. Look at that big piece. Something right here. Let's shake it down. This is a whole basket full of crazy crap in this one. I ain't no telling what's in here. Get me finding stuff and I'll never leave. I'll be here all day. Get hot and go jump in the creek. Something. Gosh, dog it, briars. Alright, gotta get all this crap out of your way. It's getting to be a little bit warm now. There's a rock. There it is right there. Look at that. Let me go get my other camera. Wow. What a beautiful. Hadn't been in here 30 minutes. That's why I love this place. I want you to look at that right there. Let me see if this thing's on. The battery's probably dead. Alright, let's see if it'll come on. This one here. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's what I hit up in there a minute ago. I heard it. That is it right there. You don't think... Let me get a new... Try to get that in there. You see that? You see that right there? That's fine as a... Ooh, look at that. My God, look how fine that is. Ooh, man. That is, it's heavy too. What a fine piece of work. Look at that thing. There was a Pontchartrain all day long. I thought it was a Collins, but it's not. Look at the ridge on that sucker. Look at that. Wow. This is blowing me away. I haven't found a fine one like that. That is a... Good Lord have mercy. Look at that thing. I'll stick it in my mouth, but I don't want to get dirt in my mouth. I'll get it cleaned up, but there ain't nothing more perfect than that right there, folks. Look at the color on that, and they ain't even wet. Ooh, man. What a gem of a piece. That is a G10. What they'd call a G10 all day. Look at that. Oh, man. Right in the sifter. That's what I was telling you. I'm not even through yet. Look at all this. Wow. I'm almost shut down because of that. That might be the end of this. That might be the end of this video. But I'm gonna find something else up in here now. I'll probably be here sweating for 2 more hours.